Maya Chin left Tech Vista 40 minutes earlier than usual, the IPO celebration jacket still warm on her shoulders and the noise of the office echoing in her head. People had been clapping, laughing, opening cheap champagne like it meant something. For years of grinding code, late nights, ramen dinners, and saying no to vacations had just turned into numbers on a screen. $850,000 invested stock options. Not theoretical anymore. Real, life-altering. Her hand still buzzed as she drove home. She kept replaying the moment HR confirmed it. You're fully vested as of today. Today. She parked in the apartment garage she shared with Jake, smiling to herself. Maybe they'd finally breathe. Maybe he'd relax about money. Maybe she could stop being the one holding everything together. The apartment door clicked open quietly. Lights were off except for the bedroom. Jake's voice drifted down the hallway, low and casual, the way it got when he thought he sounded important. Don't worry, babe, he said, laughing softly. Once we're married, I'll have access to everything. Maya froze. She's so focused on her career, she won't see it coming. Yeah, the prenup will be a problem, but my lawyer says if we're married at least a year before she knows about this other money, we can contest it. Community property, baby. Her stomach dropped. Jake kept talking, pacing. Trust me, just give it time. I've got this. Maya didn't move. The IPO jacket suddenly felt too tight around her arms. He didn't know. He didn't know the options had vested today. Slowly, silently, she stepped backward into the hallway, then out the front door. She didn't remember reaching the car, only that she was sitting in the driver's seat, hands trembling in her lap, breath shallow. The fluorescent garage lights hummed overhead 0.6 months. Jake had been pushing for marriage nonstop for 6 months. Casual at first, then persistent. Rings, venues, joint bank accounts, future planning. And the mystery woman, the one she'd felt but never confirmed. Late night texts, smirks at his phone. Business lunches 3 times a week. He knew her salary, $180,000. He talked about it constantly, but he didn't know about the stock. Not yet. Maya swallowed hard, forcing her thoughts into ordered first-gen kid, scholarship student, coding between shifts. She had built everything she had from nothing. Jake, influencer, content creator, income balance between $30,000 and $50,000 a year on a good year. She'd been covering rent, groceries, and most bills for nearly 2 years while he built his brand. Her chest tightened. This wasn't impulsive. It was calculated. She drove to a coffee shop across town and opened her laptop. Hands steady now, mind sharp, engineer mode. Their shared iPad still synced Jake's email. He'd never logged out. Search. Vanessa. Dozens of threads. Months long. Calendar entries marked V meetings, 2 to 3 times a week. For months straight, Maya Googled the name Vanessa Torres, lifestyle influencer, 50,000 followers, glossy photos, luxury captions, manifestation quotes. One post from last week stopped Maya cold. Sometimes you just have to claim the life you deserve. Big things coming. Tech wife era. Her stomach twisted. She opened their shared iCloud backup. Text messages loaded slowly. Then all at once, Jake to unknown number. She finally mentioned the IPO timeline. Lockup period ends in 90 days. We need to be engaged by then. Response, get the ring. Make it public. Lock it down before she gets smart. The number was saved as legal. Steve Maya copied into Google. Steve Morrison, family law attorney, specializes in high net worth partner asset protection. Her fingers hovered over the trackpad as the realization landed, heavy and cold. This wasn't spur-of-the-moment betrayal. Jake had hired a lawyer, built a timeline, coordinated with another woman, planned an engagement around her IPO windfall, months in advance, maybe longer. Maya leaned back in the cafe chair, the world narrowing into a sharp, terrifying clarity. He hadn't just been lying to her, he'd been preparing to legally take everything she had. Maya didn't go home that night. She drove straight to Priya's apartment, the one place that still felt stable, and knocked until the door swung open. Priya took one look at her face and stepped aside without a word. 20 minutes later, Maya had told her everything. Jake's phone call, the emails, the lawyer, Vanessa. Priya sat back, stunned, then leaned forward, voice sharp and steady. You need a lawyer, like yesterday. By morning, Maya was sitting across from Rachel Kim, a sharp-eyed attorney recommended through a female founders network. The meeting had been labeled urgent, and Rachel treated it that way. No small talk, just a yellow legal pad and focused questions. California is a community property state, Rachel began. If you marry Jake, anything earned during a marriage is split 50-50. Maya nodded slowly. But Rachel continued, tapping her pen. Assets acquired before marriage remain separate, if properly documented and protected. Maya felt her chest tighten. His plan was to marry me before the stock vested, then claim half. Rachel gave a thin smile. Except he's already wrong. Maya blinked. The options vested yesterday. That changes everything. The advantages lined up quickly after that. Jake didn't know Maya knew. The stock was already in her account and could legally be moved into a protected individual trust. The lawyer consultations suggested premeditated financial targeting. The affair with Vanessa opened the door to breach of fiduciary duty claims. And Maya had records showing she'd financially supported Jake for 2 years. Rent, utilities, groceries, equipment. Rachel's plan came together like a blueprint. Move the stock immediately into a trust. Hire a private investigator. Act normal for a few weeks. Gather every piece of evidence showing Jake's intent to manipulate and defraud. End the relationship before any engagement. Then pursue reimbursement for the money Maya had poured into his life. Maya left the office feeling hollow but focused. Strategy was something she understood. Code, systems, logic. People were messier, but not untraceable. That evening, she went home. Jake greeted her with a grin, arms open, casual as ever. Hey, big IPO week, huh? She forced a smile, shrugging off her jacket. Yeah, crazy. He hesitated, trying to sound nonchalant. So, when do you actually get the stock money? Maya shrugged. It's complicated. Lockup period's like 6 months. Then it vests over 3 years. Maybe $200,000 up front after taxes. Jake's expression flickered. Disappointment, calculation. Then reset into supportive boyfriend mode. Still amazing, babe. Proud of you. That night, as he showered, Maya watched his reflection through the cracked bathroom door while her phone mirrored his iCloud messages. Jake to Steve. Timeline changed. 6 months plus 3-year vest. Adjust strategy. Maya's stomach tightened. The performance began after that. Week 1, Jake transformed. Romantic dinners. Flowers. Conversations about their future. He showed her a Pinterest board full of engagement rings and vacation weddings. Maya played along perfectly. Smiled. Laughed. Leaned into his shoulder. Inside, she documented everything. Jennifer Torres, the private investigator Rachel recommended, moved fast. Within 5 days, she delivered the first report. Photos of Jake and Vanessa at Venice Beach, kissing behind a row of rental bikes. Photos of Jake entering Vanessa's apartment. Late night, early morning, multiple days. Images from a jewelry store. Vanessa trying on diamond rings while Jake watched. And a 2-day Santa Barbara hotel stay that lined up exactly with the creator conference Jake had claimed to attend. But the deeper report was worse. Vanessa wasn't just an affair. She had a pattern. Last year, she dated a rising crypto entrepreneur and convinced him to put her name on a property deed before ending the relationship, walking away with a $300,000 settlement point 2 years earlier. She'd been engaged to a tech founder who bought her a Tesla and paid off $80,000 in credit cards before the relationship fell apart. Jake and Vanessa had met on a wealth manifestation forum. Their plan was explicit. Jake marries Maya. Vanessa stays on the side. 2 years later, Jake filed for divorce and splits the settlement with Vanessa 50-50. Maya felt physically sick reading the messages Jennifer recovered. She accessed deleted texts through the cloud backup. Jake to Vanessa, 2 years married, file reconcilable differences, walk with $400,000 minimum. Vanessa, make sure you document that you sacrifice your career for her success. Jake, already building that narrative on my Instagram. Rachel guided Maya through the rest. Financial records showed Maya had spent $47,000 covering Jake's expenses over 2 years. Evidence stacked higher by the day. Screenshots, metadata, timelines, even audio clips limited, carefully gathered under legal exceptions for documenting suspected fraud. But by the end of week 2, Maya had a complete map of the conspiracy. She also had a deadline. Jake knocked on her office door one evening, eyes bright, energy buzzing. "Hey, don't make plans Saturday." "Why?" she asked lightly, begrinned. Tech Vista's IPO celebration party. Investors, press, founders, the whole thing. Thought we could make it a big night. Our night. Something in his tone made her pulse slow. Later, Jennifer confirmed it. Jewelry receipt. Ring purchased 3 days earlier. Custom setting. Public proposal planned. Jake intended to propose at the IPO celebration, on stage, in front of colleagues, cameras, and executives. Public. Pressured. Impossible to refuse without causing a scene. Maya stared the message heart steady, mind razor sharp. The party was in 4 days, and Jake had no idea she'd already dismantled his entire plan. The counterstrike began the day before the IPO party. Rachel moved first. A civil suit filed against Jake for attempted fraud and financial reimbursement. At the same time, he was served with an eviction notice. The apartment lease was entirely in Maya's name. Attached to the filing was a 40-page evidence packet. Photos of Jake and Vanessa, recovered texts, financial records, timelines, and the connection to Steve Morrison. WY noon. Jake was calling nonstop. Maya answered once. "This is insane," he snapped, panic leaking through his voice. "You're being paranoid. You completely lost it." Maya's tone stayed calm. "I heard you on the phone 3 weeks ago. I know about Vanessa. I know about Steve Morrison. I know everything." Silence. Then scrambling. Denial. "That's not what you think." Then anger. "You OWE me. I supported your career." Maya didn't raise her voice. "I have receipts for every dollar I spent on you. 47,000. See you in court." She hung up before he could respond. The IPO party arrived the next night like nothing had happened. Music, lights, champagne, executives congratulating each other for turning code into capital. Maya walked in alone, steady and composed. A few colleagues glanced around. "Where's Jake?" She smiled lightly. "We broke up. Turns out he was more interested in my stock options than me." The company so overheard and gently pulled her aside. "Good catch," he said quietly. "We've seen this happen before. You handled it smart." For the first time, Maya felt something loosen inside her chest. Not relief. Not yet. But validation. The legal pressure worked fast. Steve Morrison attempted to negotiate, suddenly far less confident than the messages Maya had seen. Rachel didn't budge. "Your client committed attempted fraud," she said. "We have documentation. He repays a portion of living expenses or we escalate." The settlement came within weeks. Jake agreed to return $30,000 over 12 months and signed a strict non-disclosure agreement. Vanessa disappeared from social media shortly after Rachel issued a cease and desist. And just like that, the storm passed. Maya moved into a bright one-bedroom in Culver City. For the first time, it felt like a space that belonged entirely to her. She invested carefully. $400,000 into index funds, $200,000 toward a real estate down payment, $150,000 in high-yield savings, and $100,000 set aside for living, travel, experiences, breathing room. Her first international trip was solo. Japan. Quiet mornings, neon nights, long walks where no one knew her name. 6 months later, the pieces of her life had settled into something steadier. Jake's influencer career unraveled after mutual friends quietly shared what happened. Vanessa was arrested in a separate fraud case involving another man. Maya got promoted to senior engineer, $220,000 salary. She started dating casually again, no pressure, no urgency. Found a therapist who helped her unpack the betrayal instead of burying it. And one evening at a rock climbing gym, she met Alex, 28, a teacher, financially stable, kind in a way that didn't feel performative, no grand gestures. Just consistency. On a warm evening months later, Maya stood on the balcony of her new apartment, sunset stretching over Los Angeles. She thought about the girl she'd been at UCLA, the one who loved Jake without hesitation, who believed effort alone made relationships safe. She hadn't just protected her money, she protected her future. The $850,000 was growing now. Stable, secure, hers. And for the first time, her self-worth wasn't tied to being needed, loved, or chosen. IT was built on what she'd earned, what she'd survived, and what she refused to lose. She exhaled, watching the sky fade to gold. I'm 26, she whispered to herself. I lost a relationship, but gained clarity. I lost trust, but gained wisdom. And I kept every single dollar I earned. A small smile formed. Some people marry for love. Some people marry for money. I chose myself. Best investment I ever made.